Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. We got something that happened overnight that's pretty crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Okay. Like I said, we got something. Here it is. I got something completely different I got to do with you guys and talk about today. Hopefully I'll be able to find some time today to do that. But this is what's going on right now, so we have got to talk about this. The news keeps on newsing, and it waits on no man. Real talk. But there's some stuff that has happened right outside the White House. Yeah, like I said, some real stuff happened last night, and pretty wild stuff indeed. So before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please do me a favor. Crush that reaction button. Crush that follow button over there. Follow me on those platforms, please, and thank you. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button here on my main channel. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. That's what the second channel is called, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there. That'd be great. All right. Trying to get past the threshold of 25,000 subscribers over there. We're almost there, by the way. But, simply by hitting that subscribe button, taking a view at some of the videos I put out over there, that'd be greatly appreciated. Go check it out. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support the channel if you can. You can support even further by checking out my Patreon, my locals as well. And also, don't forget, PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. I'm telling you, PascalMerch.com. All right. Okay, guys, we got to get straight into it. Sounds like a case of the Sundays. There's some weird stuff that's going on right now, man. I'm going to be completely honest. This is some very interesting stuff that has just recently gone down, and I know we're getting into this pretty quickly. I know everybody's kind of getting in here. Usually I use 5 minutes or so to just do some filler, have some conversations with y'all and all that. But unfortunately, today is a little bit busy of a day. So we got to get straight into the nitty gritty. We have an assailant that was hit. I got to use these code words, unfortunately, by the Secret Service overnight. Indeed, there was a man walking around with not acting level-minded, okay? Making threats, especially towards our elected official, our president, okay? And he was also allegedly saying certain things that were leading to the thought that he may do something bad on self. If you get what I'm saying, we got to use a lot of code words, which sucks, okay? Which really, really sucks, because I just want to say what's being said out here. But you're going to hear and read all of it with me as we get into this thing. So get on in here. Good morning. Happy Sunday. We got some stuff. We got some things to cover today. All right. And this just dropped a few hours ago. Overnight, let me repeat this again for those of y'all who are starting to get in here and getting a little late to the party. I understand. There was a man, okay, an assailant that was hit by the Secret Service. Apparently, he was waltzing around the area near the White House, making threats, not only just about himself, but towards the president. Secret Service exchanged some bullets with this particular assailant, and now that assailant is in the hospital. Now, one thing is for sure, from my understanding, they have not said anything about if he has perished or how severe his injuries are or anything of that sort. They said that he was taken into the hospital with injuries. Okay. So we got to get into some conversations, okay? And yeah, happy daylight savings time. We just jumped ahead, okay? Yeah. I woke up this morning because like my internal clock goes off. My internal clock goes off around 7:30 a.m. You know what I mean? And that's oversleeping in a way. You know what I mean? That's me like sleeping in. I woke up and I'm like, wait a second, it's 8:30. What? It's 8:30. What? You know what I mean? So trust me when I say I understand everyone's sitting there going like, wait, what time is it? What are we starting? This ain't early. Wait a second. Did I oversleep today? No. Daylight savings time, guys. Okay. So happy daylight savings time. Ain't that crazy? So let's take a look at this article. We got some things, some videos and all that stuff we're going to look at here too. So let's rock and roll. Secret Service hits man in overnight armed confrontation near White House. Okay. And no, this is not the guy. This is the guy who's hiding out in Florida outside of Trump's golfing excursion, right? Remember that guy? That's not this guy. Okay, they have not identified as of yet. They have not identified the assailant as of yet. So this is all going to be news as information trickles out over time. Okay, the Secret Service hit a man during an armed confrontation near the White House Sunday, the agency announced. The incident took place just after midnight, just a block west of the White House near the Eisenhower Executive Office building. In a statement, the Secret Service said that earlier on Saturday, police shared information about a person who was not thinking well, let's just say that, who may have been traveling to Washington, D.C. from Indiana. So this person came from Indiana to do this very, very bad thing. And from their understanding, from what they gathered, this man had plans to go to the White House to do some serious damage. Now, also, I will say this too. President Trump is not in D.C. He's in Mar-a-Lago. So this person would have walked up into, if he was even successful to get onto the White House grounds, Trump's nowhere near the White House right now. Just so y'all know. Okay? So at around midnight, sorry, one second. Okay. At around midnight, members of the Secret Service encountered the man's parked car near 17th and F Streets Northwest and saw a person matching his description nearby. Officers approached. The individual brandished a firearm and an armed confrontation ensued. In other words, a firefight, right? During which shots were fired by our personnel. This is what the agency wrote in a statement. The suspect was rushed to an area hospital and his condition is unknown. So still, we do not know how this person is right now, how the assailant is. Did they neutralize the person? Or if this person is still alive? And of course, you know, yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, EA. Yeah. There was a firefight. If nobody knows that movie, go check it out. That movie's freaking awesome. All right. Anyway, moving on. There were no reported injuries to Secret Service personnel. Okay. There were no injuries to them. So that's good news. Metropolitan Police Department will lead an investigation into this tragedy or into this altercation, since they are the primary agency responsible for use of force incidents within the District of Columbia, the Secret Service said. President Trump was not in the White House at the time, okay? The president is expected to leave his Mar-a-Lago estate today at 5 p.m. to return to the Capitol. So again, like I said, there's minimal, and I'm sure there's going to be more information coming out here very shortly, but it's very minimal, okay? It's very minimal. And sorry for the left turn. Yeah, Boondock Saints, y'all. That's what we're referencing. Boondock Saints. Check it out. Movie's phenomenal. Moving on. Okay. So this is very interesting. We're still going to look at a few more things. Like I said, we got a couple articles, etc. Excuse me, that we're going to be looking at here too. But this is nonstop, right? This is some pretty crazy stuff. So, man is hit by Secret Service agents. Okay, Secret Service surrounded a man who was brandishing a weapon near the White House on Sunday last night, or sorry, early this morning or late Saturday night, however you see it. Okay. So the agency said they were notified on Saturday by local law enforcement that a man who they believe had some bad ideations, okay, had traveled from Indiana to Washington, D.C. late Saturday night. Secret Service officials noticed the man parked next to a building directly next to the White House. The Secret Service says as officers approached his vehicle, he pulled out his weapon, okay? An armed confrontation ensued. Here it is right here. Okay. This is what they said here. Let's pull this up. So this is a statement on March 9th, officer involved situation. So on Sunday, March 9th, an adult male was hit by U.S. Secret Service personnel following an armed confrontation with law enforcement in Washington, D.C. Earlier on Sunday, local police shared information about a person who was not thinking well, okay, who may be traveling to Washington, D.C. from Indiana. So now pause for a second. Pause. I'm wondering, how did they know about this man traveling from Indiana to Washington, D.C. with these types of unthinkable ideations? Did he post something online? Did he walk up to somebody down the street and said, I have really bad ideations in my head, and I just came in from Indiana to here to go and do some bad things to the president? Like, that's what I'm saying. How did they figure that out? How did local PD find that information out and then give it to the Secret Service? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm not trying to, put any weird things, but I'm just saying, how would they know about the guy, right? And why weren't they there looking into the situation too? Right? So that's weird, right? But moving on, interesting. Around midnight, members of the Secret Service encountered the individual's parked vehicle near 17th and F Streets Northwest. They also saw an individual on foot matching the description nearby. So maybe down the block, right? And as officers approached, the individual brandished a firearm and an armed confrontation ensued. Like I said, there was a firefight during which shots were fired by our personnel. The suspect was transported to an area hospital and his condition is unknown. There were no reported injuries to the Secret Service personnel. The incident is under investigation by the Metropolitan Police Department Internal Affairs Division Force Investigations Team. Dear God. So the MPDIADFIT, that is a huge acronym. And that's what she said. Moving on, which investigates all law enforcement officers involved, or all law enforcement officer involved shootings in the District of Columbia. And of course, this was a statement from the United States Secret Service. So this is very interesting. All right. This is very interesting. But like I said, I'm kind of curious on how would they know? Like, that's the thing. Police inform Secret Service about this individual, about a man, okay, traveling from Indiana to DC. That's a very interesting piece of information to know. Unless, and only unless, he went to somebody on the street and said, this is what's going on, this is what I'm about to do. Or they posted it online and said, maybe they posted something online and said like, hey, Here are my plans. This is what I'm going to do while I'm traveling to DC from Indiana. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's possible. Unless he's in the middle of the street screaming that information. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Something very odd about that. Okay. But we already know that he's been transported to the local hospital. His condition is unknown right now at this time. Okay. So let's continue. This is interesting, to say the least. This is some very, very interesting information. But we're going to keep looking and see if there's more information here.
A developing story overnight. A developing story overnight out of D.C. This is a live look in front of the White House. The Secret Service shot one man near the White House just after midnight. And the Secret Service says officers approached the man who pulled out a gun, so they shot him. He's been treated at the hospital, and we don't know his condition right now. Officials are investigating at this moment.
Yeah, what's nuts about this is that you'd think the news would be on this pretty quickly, and everything's it's minimal at best. It is minimal at best, which is frustrating. But let me see here. I'm going to check to see what's going on elsewhere. One second, guys. Just grabbing a few things. Let's see here. Here's another one.
That breaking news, a man believed to be from Indiana was shot by the U.S. Secret Service after an armed confrontation outside of the White House overnight. Now, taking a live look from the White House right now, where this happened just after midnight, Washington police report a suicidal individual possibly traveling to D.C. from Indiana, and Secret Service later found that individual's vehicle and spotted a person matching the description. The Secret Service says that the man brandished a firearm as an officer approached. A confrontation followed, and that man was taken to the hospital. His condition right now is unknown. President Donald Trump was in Florida at the time of the shooting.
Yeah. Again, there's, like I said, I'm looking to see if there's any more pieces of information, but there hasn't really been much, which is frustrating. Hold on. Okay, we got this is wild that they're not saying much here. Hold on, guys.
Around midnight last night, Secret Service personnel encountered the individual's vehicle parked around near 17th and F Street Northwest. Short time later, they observed an individual on foot matching the description. As officers approached, the individual brandished a firearm, at which time an armed encounter ensued, and Secret Service personnel discharged their service weapons. Around midnight last night, Secret Service personnel encountered the individual's vehicle parked around near 17th and F Street Northwest. Short time later, they observed an individual on foot matching the description. As officers approached, the individual brandished a firearm, at which time an armed encounter ensued, and Secret Service personnel discharged their service weapons. Again,
there's, I get it. Let me just grab this. Pierre just said this, and thanks so much for the comment. But I doubt that they'll say anything more, because they still haven't said anything about the two other. Yeah, they really haven't. You know what I mean? That also tried. One succeeded and hit Trump in the ear. That is true. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that volume on that one was pretty low, and it was only coming out my left ear. This is how it is. The media doesn't think about all the technical stuff as far as audio goes. But What's interesting about this is, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're not going to give a whole lot of information. I mean, let's not forget the slopey roofs, right? Um, there was it's very that whole situation was extremely lackluster, to be completely real. Doesn't matter if Trump's your guy or Trump's not your guy. He's still the president of this country. He is still the country's leader. You know, these attempts are pretty insane. And now you got somebody who is a block away from the White House trying to infiltrate. Again, or having plans to infiltrate. And again, it's a good thing that Trump was nowhere near that and Trump was somewhere completely different. But at the same time, what if his wife was in the White House? What if his, you know what I mean? Other staff, etc. Right? So, this is pretty crazy that this kind of stuff is just constantly happening. You have to understand, this is constantly happening. This is constantly happening, y'all. Pretty nutty. And what's also weird is that there's not a whole lot of information that they're giving. It's kind of like okay, there was this that happened, then this happened, and then that's it. We have a person from Indiana. He parked his car a block away from the White House. Interaction with, there was an altercation between the Secret Service and this assailant, and now he's in the hospital. And then they just cut to break. You know what I mean? They cut to commercial or whatever. It's very, like I said, the information is minimal. Okay, it's minimal. Eminem, minimal, subliminal, minimal. You know what I mean? So this is just ridiculous, y'all. This is just ridiculous. But we're still looking to see if there's any more information. Like I said, most of these news clips are 30 seconds long at best. There's not much more information, which it'd be nice if there'd be more information here. But, I know that there's a lot of protesting going on around various areas. But this is just interesting. One second, y'all. Just getting info. Just 1 second. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are trying to make comparisons, at least online. Some people are just trying to make comparisons to other incidents that happened in the past and all that. And, at the end of the day, this is just pretty scary stuff. I feel like this is just scary for any person out here. Seeing if there's any more information. Let's take a look at this. So it says, an armed man. Of course, we already know about that. President Trump was nowhere near the White House Sunday morning, which obviously is a good thing. According to Secret Service Chief of Communications, Google, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Okay. But United States Secret Service received information of a individual who wanted to do some bad things, bad ideations. Okay. Traveling to DC from Indiana. Okay. So again, it's still the same stuff over and over and over again, but I still want to know who this person is and if they took him out, if they neutralized the situation, because there's a good possibility that they neutralized the situation, but they're just not telling the public yet, right? But yeah, Trump most likely was out golfing and enjoying some golf, right? But at the same time, in a way, it's kind of like a good thing he was nowhere near this situation. Because again, that's still a threat. And then, this is the thing that gets me worried is that if you got to remember, it all started back on July 13th, if I'm correct, when he was in Butler, Pennsylvania. And now everybody and their mama is like, not everybody and their mama, but certain individuals are sitting there going, well, he tried, I can try. There's been other attempts. And now we're seeing another attempt happen again, right? And I think this is the first one since he's been elected, if I'm correct, right? I mean, there are some reports saying that he was wanting to do something, saying that he was claiming that he wanted to do some bad things to the president. Now, there are some reports of that. In fact, let me see if I can find that again, because I had it. Interesting. Well, let's take a look at this too. So, of course, we already know about this situation that happens late Saturday night or very early Sunday morning. He was from Indiana, this assailant, okay? He parked his vehicle, which you already know about that, just a stone's throw away from the president's home, and was walking around the streets with his weapon. Secret Service agents revealed that this assailant held a dark secret as he had been having bad thoughts, okay, before making the journey from his home state to the Capitol on Saturday. We already know that the president was at Mar-a-Lago, okay, while this whole thing went down. When the agents found this man, okay, he started brandishing his firearm, in which triggered, of course, this armed confrontation, okay, just feet from the White House. The man, who's not been identified, of course, now has been rushed to the hospital with injuries. The Secret Service members were unharmed during the incident. Okay, the chief of communications for the U.S. Secret Service said on Sunday morning that their personnel was involved in this situation following an armed encounter with a person of interest shortly after midnight on March 9th. Okay, at 17th and we heard F Streets Northwest. Now, the Secret Service explained that agents first spotted his car on the street directly to the right of the White House, which we'll take a look here in a second. They then spotted the individual on foot, okay, who matched his description. The statement continued as officers approached. We already know about this whole exchange. And of course, they don't know about his condition, but he's been taken to the hospital. We already know about the investigation with, that the MD, the Metropolitan Department Internal Affairs Division Force Investigations team is already investigating all this whole thing. On Saturday, there were many groups of protesters gathering in Washington, D.C., a lot of activists, including members of the activists for the LGBTQ plus community, marched through D.C. To Kennedy Center at nightfall, claiming that Trump has waged a war against drag shows. That's interesting. Then earlier in the day, Iranian Americans took to the Capitol streets demanding a free Iran. Okay, their protests began at the Capitol reflecting pool. There's no indication that the man who was hit in D.C. was for any of those rallies, but could have been. And here's the car that he drove that was taken away, okay, from the scene. I mean, this is where the interaction happened, I guess. I mean, it looks like this guy got hit. He got hit. Okay. And they're trying to wash it off, if you get what I'm saying. Of course, again, that's the car that was his, apparently. Okay. So let's take a look. Hold on. Look at all those markings on the ground, right? That's a lot of shells. And of course, he went down right here. Now, again, there have been a lot of protests going on. I mean, even so, apparently JD Vance and his daughter were getting followed around by protesters. A lot of pro-Ukraine protesters just following him and protesting right in his face and his daughter's face and all that as well. Because obviously we all saw what happened with Zelensky, where Zelensky was sitting with Trump and then kicked him out. And then Trump kicked him out of the meeting, kicked him out of the White House and all that. I mean, it was very wow. Okay. Like something you never see ever. Right. Some wild stuff. Right. And we saw that. And I can see how some people, okay, who are, say, pro-Ukraine would feel some type of way about that. I could see that starting some sort of protest out here in these streets. Right now, is this guy one of those guys? Right. Could it be one of those guys? We don't know. Okay. We really don't know. Okay. It is pretty insane. No matter what, there's protests of all kinds. Okay. There's many groups that are feeling very, very, feeling some type of way, for lack of a better term right now. So we're seeing a lot of protesting, a lot of things that are going on. And then of course, there's that thing too. I think that it could get even worse here in the very near future. And I'm just going to say it. Because there's a lot of people, understandably, I understand why the protests are going on. You okay? Whether you agree with them or not, it's kind of like okay, I get that would be happening. Of course, there'd be protests going on, right? For the pro-Ukraine or LGBTQ plus AI community or any groups, right? If something happens that they don't agree with, right? But I do feel like there could be something very bad if someone gets pardoned. I'm just going to hit this now. There is conversations, at least. There's been talk percolating out in the streets, at least in the internet streets, about one particular person getting pardoned. I'm telling you right now. If that pardon happens, may God protect our streets. That's all I'm going to say. May God protect our streets and protect this country, because it'll go off like a powder keg. I'm telling you right now. And it'll be a wave of everything all at once. And I don't want to relive that again. I don't know about you. I don't want to relive it. Those protests. Those protests were insane and very dangerous. So, yeah. There's a lot of people that feel some type of way right now. Yeah. But let's continue on. All right? Let's continue on. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm going to be real. I hope it doesn't happen. Okay? Newsflash. I hope that person's exactly where they need to be. Exactly where they need to be. That's my personal opinion. All right? But at the same time, if that person gets pardoned, may God protect our country. May God protect it all. Moving on, the midnight incident in D.C. comes just months after Trump faced a series of threats, okay, which we already knew. This is I feel like this is the first attempt, okay? I feel like this is the first attempt, if this is an attempt, okay? Because, I mean, obviously he's waving, he's brandishing a weapon. He's walking around in D.C. right next to the White House. I feel like it's fair to do the reverse math and believe that this guy's out here trying to do some bad, and he clearly wants to go after. He clearly wants to go after the president. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it? You feel me? So again, it's safe to say that this guy had some sort of idea of trying to get into the White House. Unless he was just trying to lose his life by police. Okay? Unalive by cop or whatever. You know the phrase. I just can't say those phrases here. Got to use these mother-loving code words. All right? But on some real stuff, we already heard, remember the first person who tried, Thomas Crooks. Then we had the other guy. Then we had another guy. We had one guy at the golf while he was golfing, hiding out in the shrubbery, okay, for allegedly for at least a day, camped out in there, just chilling, waiting for his target, which was then not president-elect at that time, but now President Trump, playing golf. He's sitting there in the bushes, waiting for Trump to show up, right? Yes, Ryan Routh, thank you. And then there was allegedly another person at a, if I remember correctly, there was another like rally that he was doing, right? And there was another guy, but he was like, "No, I'm a Trump fan." You know what I mean? But let's take a look at this, okay? So Thomas Crook, he fired 8 rounds with his AR-15, okay, from a nearby roof. Because of a slopey roof, the Secret Service just didn't do their secret servicing at that time, which was trash, right? But of course, Crooks lost his life. But he also took out an audience member, injured 2 others. And we talked about this at great lengths. We had eyewitnesses come onto the show and talk about it as well. Please go check it out if you need to take a trip down memory lane, or if you just don't know about this situation, please go check out my interviews on that as well, okay? So this was that became a focal point. This attempt on Trump's life became a focal point of the last election, and triggered databases about the effectiveness of these Secret Service and protective officers surrounding the presidential hopefuls. Okay, so following that close call, all right, in July, Trump was also the target of another failed attempt. Okay, at his golf course in West Palm Beach. So that particular mother lover was Ryan Routh, who's still alive, by the way, because he was pulled over down the highway as he was trying to make his great escape. But he tried to take out Trump. Okay. But of course, now he's still alive, and he's facing a trial here very, very soon. All right. So just a quick reminder, just a quick recap for everybody. There was a firefight that happened outside of the White House between an assailant and the Secret Service. This particular, and I'm telling you right now, they have not given much information out at all about this situation. Okay. And I'm wondering if there's going to be any new, I don't know, if there's going to be any surveillance footage that might leak. Maybe somebody was outside, because this happened a little past midnight on a Saturday night. So you're telling me that no one was out? It's Saturday night. Nobody was out hitting the bars. You see what I'm saying? Going and kicking it, living the life like it's golden. You know what I mean? Maybe going on their first date, or maybe going out trying to get some numbers, And I know it's right next to the White House, but maybe they're on their way back from a night of having a good time or something of that sort, going out to dinner and hanging out with friends. No one saw this. There's no footage of anything, not whatsoever. That seems a little bit interesting to me, but that doesn't mean that that wouldn't be the case, right? So again, this is very interesting. Nonetheless, I'm taking a look at a few things here just to make sure that I'm getting everything. But for those of y'all who are just getting here, there were reports from local PD about a man who came from Indiana into DC. He was on the streets allegedly brandishing a firearm. Secret Service found his car. Around the corner, they found this man. He had his weapon on him. They confronted the man, and allegedly they said that he brandished the firearm, and then there was an exchange of bullets. Now, this particular individual has been hit. He was taken to the hospital. They do not know his condition. They have not released his name, his identity, no nothing. So we do not know this person, who this person is at all, and if he's still alive. But this is all that we know so far, which is, like I said, very, very frustrating. And I will say this, there are a lot of individuals right now of multiple groups, etc., that feel some type of way right now. A lot of them are mad. He definitely poked the sleeping bear on many, many groups when he did these, when he made serious changes. Now, I don't care if you agree with it or not. All I'm saying is I'm just speaking facts. There are a lot of people out here that are feeling some type of way about the changes in the country, the things that have happened, and they are very curt, very blunt changes that I can see certain groups feeling some type of way, and that's why we're seeing a lot of protests out in the streets, whether you like it or not, whether you are for it or against it. Those are the facts. Okay. So again, I can see somebody out there feeling upset about something and being maybe not of right mind, being out there in the streets, wanting to do something radical, doing something unthinkable. And maybe that's the situation here. Or it could have just been somebody who was just not in their right mind and just wanted to do some carnage. I don't know. I don't know. But this is a very strange situation. But the one thing I'm still wanting to know is, how did law enforcement contact Secret Service saying, oh, this person came in from Indiana to DC and they're out there doing some bad things? Where did they get that info? You see what I'm saying? Except for seeing his car and it's saying Indiana license plates, which I'm sure that's probably one of the things that they realize. But is he running around telling people like, I'm from Indiana, I want to do some bad things here in DC? Like, that just doesn't make any sense, right? Unless he posted something online or he called up his mama or a friend of his and said, yo, I'm in DC though, I'm about to do some carnage, something like that. It just doesn't make sense, right? Because it's not fair to say, oh, because he has Indiana license plates, oh, he came in directly from Indiana to DC to do this bad thing. What if he had just moved there and he still has Indiana license plates? You see what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that law enforcement got their facts straight before it came out to the news. Or actually, I hope the media got their facts straight before this whole thing came out, right? Before all this information came out, which is still minimal. The information is extremely minimal, but still, hopefully they did. Pam Jarrett, thank you so much. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you coming on back and re-upping on that membership. I appreciate you. And by the way, please be sure to hit that join button down below if you can, guys. Hit that join button down below. Hit that like button, okay? And if you haven't done this part yet, subscribe, okay? I'm going to be back on in a very short while to give you guys this whole situation. There's some crazy stuff going on that we need to talk about this, okay? And yes, Whitney Woods. Yes, there was a Secret Service involved firefight between an assailant and the Secret Service. We do not know if this particular assailant is alive or gone. He has been injured. Let me see if I can find that video again. He has been injured for sure. He was sent to the hospital for sure. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay. I mean, even just this video alone, you could tell like there was a serious firefight. Look at all the shells. Just this cluster right here alone. Okay? And there was an exchange. So not only was it Secret Service, it was also him too. So it's a full-on firefight going on, right? One more time. So for all y'all in the nosebleed seats. And clearly, to me, this is where obviously it's the wettest spot, right? Because they were busy wiping down or spraying down the blood. Let's be real, okay? So I feel like all the action, or at least where he fell, was right here, right? And still, you can see casings, markings where casings fell. Look at that. There's another one here, okay? I mean, this may be another one here, maybe another one here, here. I mean, because you see that they have these little like white tags wherever there's circles, and it looks like that's a faded out circle because of the water, when they're washing the sidewalk off, because people are going to get up and walk. There's still businesses here. They can't just walk through stained streets, if you get what I'm saying. But see that little white tag there too. So there could have been, maybe this is another one here too. I mean, but like I said, this is pretty bad, to say the least. And again, this looks like Indiana plates. It looks like Indiana plates. But I could be wrong. And if that's not Indiana plates, then how would they know he came in from Indiana? You feel me? All right. That just doesn't make sense to me, y'all. But there's another video here too. So let's take a look at this one. Hopefully it's not a commercial.
The Offspring.
The Offspring. Okay, let's take a look at this. I mean, I mean, it's interesting because it feels like we're doing, like, checking out just like a vacation location. You know what I mean? Like, come check out Washington, D.C. It just needs like some interesting, posh type of music playing in the background, and it could literally be that. But that's interesting. Like I said, I wish there was more information here on this, but there's not much. And you'd think that there'd be like some sort of maybe a press conference or or an interview done by somebody letting us know what the heck is going on. Just checking a few things again. Like I said, it's very minimal, the information that they have out here, which is pretty crazy. One second, guys. Yeah, it's crazy because there was that clip. Oh, here's some photos. Ooh, nice. Here we go. We got some. Yeah, this was bad, y'all. This was going down. Some ish was going down. Look at that. Let's see what this says. A man was hit by the Secret Service near the White House early this morning and currently in the hospital. The man had traveled to Washington, D.C. with unthinkable thoughts, according to police, and was confronted by United States Secret Service in the 1700 block. Okay, crime scene cleared the area early this morning. But yeah, look at this. I mean, clearly there was a firefight for show. Yeah, this is pretty wild. They unloaded on the guy, which is pretty insane, guys. Well, I mean, guys, if there's more information that comes out, we will talk about it. But even this video that I shared with y'all, let me just show you this again real quick. This little video, I mean, it's only on X. I haven't found it anywhere else. But at the same time, the information we have right now is minimal at best. Minimal at best. So, when we get more information, we'll definitely talk about it. But, I figured that there'd be a little bit more breaking information here so far. But still, guys, I mean, we are living and we are in some very turbulent times right now. There's a lot of very upset individuals out here throughout the country. We just have to be extremely safe and take care of our loved ones. And of course, keep an eye on the ones that we love, right? And it doesn't matter. Like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you stand on. It does not matter on any of these situations. But I know a lot of the situations are extremely polarizing, and there's a lot of people that feel passionately about certain things. All I can say is I understand. I understand what you feel. You have every right to feel whatever you feel. Okay. That's just the world. That's the world that we live in. But there are a lot of polarizing things that have happened over the past, couple months. It has been a wild couple months. All right. And it's only going to get wilder, I'm sure. Maybe this will be this. Maybe it'll maintain. Maybe everything will even out over time. But at the same time, we don't know. All we can do is try to keep ourselves safe, keep the ones that we love safe, and try to keep going after that pursuit of happiness, right? So we'll see. We will see what happens here. Entry, thank you so much for the love. Ask chat to figure out who is missing in the mainstream media or Congress this morning. Then we will know who. Interesting. That's an interesting statement. I mean, I guess we'll see. The only thing we could do is sit back and watch and see what happens here, right? But again, right now we need to be more than ever leaning together as a country and supporting each other and, leaning on love. I know that sounds very 70s of me, you know what I mean? Peace and love, man. But at the same time, I mean, this is kind of the world that everything's so volatile, and it's been volatile for a while. Um, this is the reason why I say it's just incredibly important to remember the people you love, take care of them, keep an eye on them, stay safe, stay out of harm's way as best as you can. But at the same time, if you feel the need to speak out, that's your right too. Just do it. Do it safely. That's all I ask for. Do it safely. Don't do it in a radical or in a way that's going to either hurt someone or yourself. Right? I feel like the power of the word is still the power of the voice and the power of the word is still a very powerful device. But I think we've lost that over time, that we've lost that realization that the power of the voice and the power of the word can really, really change things. But I think a lot of people are tired. A lot of people are like just feeling like they just got ran through, you know what I mean? Which is a terrible, terrible thing, beaten down, etc. But I think we need to realize and remember that again. But then I've said this again too. We don't really have leaders. This is going to be diabolical. But I'm going to say it because it's the doggone truth. I just truly believe this. Okay, I don't know if we have leaders like we used to have back in the day. And I'm not talking about elected officials. I'm speaking on the ones that are out there that are the voice for the voiceless, the voices of the people that are out here that are trying to be heard, etc. The ones that are the voice of the people. The moments where it's time to slow things down and quell the violence in the streets or the uprising of certain things, the riots, the vandalism, etc. Right? The people running around brandishing firearms. I don't really believe that we have a person or persons out there that are speaking, just using the power of the word and the power of the voice to really change what's going on in the streets. It doesn't exist. Now it's, here I am in my garage next to my Lamborghini. Check me out in my private jet. Check out my pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like that. Don't get me wrong. Write a book. By all means. Speak. Do whatever the hell you need to do. Do you, boo-boo. I'm not judging the hustle. What I'm judging is the message behind that hustle. Sorry, I don't mean to get on the soapbox, but when I see stuff like this, when I see what happened, even all the way back on July 13th, when we see the countless riots and protests that happened in the street, countless of times, there is no real person that's spearheading those groups. There are no leaders anymore. The leader now does not exist. Now they're just glorified motivational speakers on Instagram and on social media. Yeah, I said it. So I'm just, I'd love to see a change. That's the same thing when it comes to people who are coming out here and, going vote for me for president, that kind of thing. It's like, where's that vibe? Where's that vibration? Where's that energy that we all want? That je ne sais quoi, that thing, that it factor. I have yet to see it in a while, y'all. And I feel that if we had the right speakers, the right leaders, and I'm not talking about elected leaders, I'm just talking about leaders for the people. I think that there'd be a little bit there'd be something different out here in the streets. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. And maybe people are too scared to step forward and speak from the heart, speak their truth. I don't know. But something's got to give. Something's got to change here soon. And we do need the guidance. We do need those mentors. We do need those leaders that are literally using the power of the voice, the power of the word, using their charisma for good, not just to scoop up a quick bag on some thing that they threw on the internet. You know? So, where they at? Right? And when I say Jay Artiste just said you need action, not words. You're not getting what I'm saying. Okay? There is action, there is words, there is action within words as well. Okay? But I think the things that used to work back in the day don't work in this day and age. Okay? Things that happened back in the day, I don't think all of them apply to this time. But do I think that we need to be out here in these streets just vandalizing, burning our own buildings and burning our own communities, small businesses down and destroying our own homes just to get a point across? No. I do believe that there's action within words. So it's not just standing there going, come on, y'all, just stop. We need to be better. Hold on, let me pull up this quote from this book that I read because it was pretty profound. Let me just read this to you guys real quick. The organizers and perpetrators, you know what I mean? Like, no. Okay, we live in a different time. Okay, but we need leaders and speakers that are right for this time, not from the 70s. We live in a different time. But it's also not come on, y'all, we need to be better. Buy my book. You know what I mean? That's not it. That's not it, y'all. That is not it. And we all can agree to disagree, but learn to agree to disagree in a more respectful way. But now it's radicalized. Everything's a brand, which is ridiculous. You know? I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get off the soapbox, all right? I didn't expect to say this stuff, but I just hate when bad things happen, especially when it revolves around things like this, because, again, this is what scares me. And if it's okay to speak freely, like I haven't already been speaking freely this entire hour, but one thing that I do get worried about is that somebody else is going to see that and they're going to have that buried through, in their mind through osmosis, and then somehow want to do the exact same thing or try to better what that guy just tried to do, allegedly tried to do. Clearly he was trying to do something. Okay. Why would he be waltzing around near the White House if he wasn't trying to get towards the White House? You understand what I'm saying? So I get worried that this is just going to radicalize more people to try more things. The other thing too is, I'm going to say it too. F it. I'm going to say it. What if he was the dry run? Yeah, I said it. What if he was the dry run? Something else to think about. We just talked about that with the boom boom threat on that plane that was flying out to India. Do you not remember? It was all fake news, but it happened. Plane got rerouted back to Italy, landed, found out all of it was a bold-faced lie, right? And that's what everybody said. What if that was a dry run? What if that was real? Like, what if they really were trying to find out what they can and can't do? You feel me? So what about this? What if that was a dry run? Right? I don't know. All I know is that we need to find a better way to communicate, get our thoughts out. It's okay to protest. Protest peacefully. Just saying. Floating Lotus, thank you so much for the love, for the comment. You speak the truth and say exactly what most of us are saying. Never say sorry for keeping it real. I appreciate that. I mean, you know how it is. We live in a wild world that you say anything. Even if you try to skate down the middle, which is incredibly impossible. Okay. In this line of work, it's incredibly impossible, especially when you're talking about politics, because it's so radicalized. You can sit there, skate down the middle, and people still throw hate and shade because you're just saying, hey, both sides, I get what they're trying to do. But at the same time, okay, there needs to be a happy medium. All right. We all need to get our point across in the most peaceful and best way so we can all live on this planet and coexist in harmony. That's what we should be doing. Dag nabbit. That's it. Okay. That's it. Not erasing people off this planet because you don't agree with their political, thoughts and all that stuff. Right. But it is a very, very tough gig when you are sitting in the middle and you look at them both sides screaming at each other. And you're just kind of like, but guys, and they're like, oh, all of them. Oh, here we go again. And it's like, damn, I'm just trying to keep the peace, y'all. Damn. Can't red and blue just get along for 2 seconds? Damn. See, I love you and I love you too. So why can't we just be cool for a second? Chill. You know what I mean? So it is tough, right? We live in a wild ass world. Okay. We really, really, really do. And one thing is that we need to come back to the realization that life is really dope. And that we should all be able to coexist together under the same roof and live our lives. Stop these wars, stop this chaos, stop having our kids losing their lives in these damn streets or in these damn schools. Vote for me 2028. I'm kidding. Hold on. I'm kidding. No. I'm kidding. But still, let's make more money, pay less taxes. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And live our lives. That's how it should be. Protect our kids from these monsters out here in these streets because they do exist. And continue securing the bag. So every once in a while, every couple years, you can go and get that lavish vacation going. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all have that one trip like, oh man, I'd kill to go to Dubai. You know what I mean? I'd just kill to go to Dubai. You know? I'd give my left arm to see Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? We all have that, right? We all have that thing. That's all we want. Live our life, be loved, give love. If you're able to, bring children into the world. Have a beautiful family. Go on family vacays, okay? To celebrate your hard work. Well-deserved vacations. And coexist. That's it. You know? But I think we're losing sight of that. Just that literal, simple pursuit of happiness. And I hope one day we get back to that realization. But I don't know. We live in a weird time. We live in a really, really weird time where everything's me. This is what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? And that's on both sides. Men and women are doing that. It's kind of sad, y'all. It's kind of sad. It's just a different vibration, different energy out here, y'all. But when it comes to this thing, this is the kind of stuff that worries me. Because I feel like it could give somebody the incentive to do this again or continue trying over again. And that's not good. Hopefully if this person's still alive, which honestly, I'm going to tell you this, hopefully this person is still alive. You want to know why? Because so that they can interrogate him, do some serious investigation, because they should find out if this is a dry run or not. Do everything they can to get the hell get as much of information out of this mother lover as best as possible, right? That's just kind of what I feel about this, right? But when we get more information, we will talk about it, okay? But I'm going to be back on in a very short while because honestly, I got something I've been wanting to talk to you about since yesterday. And just like I said, the news waits on no man or woman, okay? So the news be newsing. I wanted to share that with y'all. But that is the show, guys, okay? I appreciate all y'all. Appreciate you guys for coming in, being a part of the conversation. You know, hopefully they interrogate the hell out of this mother lover if he's still alive, okay? And we'll find out. We'll find out what's really going on, hopefully very, very soon. But be on the lookout. I'll be back on here soon because we got to talk about this. We got some paperwork to look into. So we got some things to talk about. So make sure that notification bell is set to all so you know whenever I go live or whenever I upload, because I will be back on in a very short while, okay? I will be back on in a very short while, so be on the lookout. We got some things to talk about. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, please, and thank you. I'm going to say Diddy. Diddy. Okay, let me just say this really quick before you head out. Something really big happened yesterday. Well, late Friday night, early Saturday. Some new documents dropped. I'm going to be back on to tell you guys about the documents. Okay. Yeah, I know some people are like, oh God, more Diddy, but no. This is insane. And we have got to talk about it because some serious celebrity names were dropped. I'm not kidding. Some serious celebrity names dropped that make everyone, even myself, question this lawsuit even more. So I'm going to be back on in a little bit to talk to you guys about that. Like I said, within the hour, I will be back on to talk about that. So hit that like button down below here. Make sure you're around because I'll be back on soon, yo. Soon. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. Okay? Hit that follow button if you're watching on other platforms. Make sure that notification bell is set to all on both of my channels, both the Pascal Show clips and this channel right here. So you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because we have got to talk about this, and I'm coming back on shortly. All right? Very shortly. All right? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, guys. Got some really, really great stuff over there. Okay? Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I'm going to see you very, very shortly. All right? I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. We'll talk soon. See you in about 30 minutes. Okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.